Hey there everyone. I have a November update for you on my bullet journal. I had a couple of questions after the last video, so I am going to just quickly show you how I set things up for November and answer, hopefully, the couple of questions. And my apologies for any shaking, because I apparently put my little bitty tripod into the closet of no return, and I need to find it. So, to start off with, here is the end of October. Let's see. So here I did a review of the month. I did a little gratitude box because I am terrible at keeping track of these things as I go. So I just kind of sifted through the pages for October, my notes, everything in there, my events, and I made a list of all of the things that were noteworthy, that I thought were really great, that made me happy. So I used that as a gratitude log. And then I also used this space here to kind of do a journal entry about what I thought of October. How well did it go? Did it not go? And now here in November, I actually would have loved to do washi tape down the side, but I'm all out and I need to find another washi tape that I will use, but hopefully I'll get back to that at some point. So here I have, as opposed to October review, I have my November outlook. So this is looking ahead to the next month. The other thing that I should have done, but didn't think about it and didn't wait for the marker, was change this background color. Because one of the things that I have decided to do is to change color schemes per month. So in October I had this nice little pinkish, I think it's called Orchid. It's one of the Tombow markers. And I decided to just go with one color theme for the month. And then for the following month, I've changed the color. And you'll see that in a moment. I went with a coral. And that is simple enough for me because trying to do a mess of colors and color things, it's too much for me and I don't get it done. Alright, so November. Here I've listed some important things, events going on this month, any changes. I'm hoping to start up substituting in the public school system, just waiting on my orientation information for that. And then extra expenses, things I wasn't planning on paying that now I have to come up with. And then here I've got my little sticky for my goals for the month. And note, I haven't actually written them down yet, so whether or not that happens is up in the air, but I would like it to still happen. I'm only a week in, I could do it. Okay, and then here I tried again with the level 10 life. I did it as a square because I really like that layout. And here I was going to list either more with the goals or kind of details on how I'm going to achieve the goals. I haven't decided yet. I may just use this as a run over for this one, which I'll explain in a moment. But what I did differently here, I ran into the same problem of my level 10 life goals being too vague and not going back to it and not filling it in, so it didn't really happen. But I still like this idea. So what I decided to do was to combine the Franklin Covey compass system with affirmations and the level 10 life. So you probably can't read this, it's all in pencil for right now, just to remind me. But I put up at the top here, I am, so an affirmation statement, and then the different aspects of my life. So instead of saying for the typical level 10 life, spiritual, family, relationships, things like that, I chose active words for that. So I said, I am a writer, for example. I am a family girl, and I have call home a bunch of times. A dancer, an entrepreneur. So I have I am statements, and then for each of the 10 levels, where applicable, I put in actual tangible goals. So for example, this month I'm doing NaNoWriMo. So I put my word count goals here, and as I meet those, I'm going to fill it in. Same with tight lacing with the corset. I have my hours and inches here, and as I meet those goals, I can fill it in. So here's to take number 57, and hopefully this will work out for me. This side here is an updated financial sheet. So I attempted to do a no-spend log up here and wrote it out all beautifully, and then I remembered that my financial month is not the actual calendar month. I get paid on the 25th. So these over here need to go into December, and then I just added the days I was missing up top. So for right now, that's how that's working. And then I have my 2 spaces for my food budget, which I tend to go over, and anything that's not in the budget that I want to keep track of. I purposely made these spaces small to discourage me from spending. But note, this one is already almost full, and how much of the month do I have left? So, which is why I'm probably going to use this space here as spillover for this. And that will be a work in progress. And then I just put a quote here that I found and liked. It says, "There is in every true woman's heart a spark of heavenly fire, which lies dormant in the broad daylight of prosperity, but which kindles up and beams and blazes in the dark hour of adversity." I thought that was a pretty good theme for my financial state at the moment. And I've been moving this little tab as I go, because that's the one for finances. All right, and here I have my NaNoWriMo chart, pretty self-explanatory. And here I attempted a new editorial calendar. I did belatedly realize that I could have put calendar in here, so I'll probably do that next month. And again, all of this should have been in the other color scheme, but I didn't think about it. And instead of doing a calendar, since I don't necessarily post stuff every day, I just sectioned out how many of each thing I wanted to do. So I do the most on Facebook, or I try to. I missed a couple days already. I sectioned out the YouTube videos that I want to make. And it's always my pipe dream to have 1 blog post a week. That hasn't happened yet. Newsletter I'm trying to get started up, so that's up here. And then here I have a space for any new product that I want to put out. This month I do have one, and I will tell you about that in just a moment. Here it is. So one of the questions I got asked from the last video was to explain a little bit more the tarot spread that I did. And for that specifically, I know I've mentioned it a couple of times, so I am going to link to the review of Angie Green's Learn Tarot With Me planner, because I was just using her tarot spreads. The one thing I wanted to try and do differently was I noticed I am not good at doing multiple spreads during the month. The Celtic cross for the month was just way too big for me. And so I decided to create a different spread using a compass. And how do I want to explain this? Because I'm thinking maybe I should do a blog post or something. I'm going to add this spread to my Etsy shop. But basically, I used 5 cards where you have your higher influences from the universe, root influences, ancestors, and not lower, but earth energy influence, and they converge into a thing that is what you need to nurture right now for this month. And then I also had what I need to give this month and what I'm going to receive this month. And that's what I went with. And here I wrote out what I found in the spread. And I used playing cards for this. So as said, I'm going to see if I can put more detail up in a blog post or something, but this will also go into the Etsy shop as a new reading option. And then I started right in with my regular weekly spread. And here is the new color scheme. And the only other thing that I changed with this was I used French for the days, and then on my dailies I put my German there. And for last month I had it the other way around. So change that up a little bit. I added what week I'm in because I wanted something colorful down here. So that's nice. And then instead of daily draws for tarot or something like that, I just did a weekly oracle card using the Kuan Yin Oracle because I love that deck. And that is the setup for the moment. And then I have my days. Here I am doing notes on the book I'm currently reading, which is the biography of Alexander Hamilton, which inspired the Broadway hit, etc., etc. So I wanted to read it. So here's my notes on that. It may spread to 2 pages, it may not. If not, I'll use this for something else. And then here's our current week and my current dailies. And that's it. That is how I plan to continue on with my spreads for November. Okay, now last thing. Someone had asked me to talk more about adding in the calendar, the flip-out calendar, this thing. And so far, things are going so well with the Calendex that I don't know if I'll actually continue to do or try a monthly calendar. But here is how I did this, because you wanted to know. So this page is actually a page from the Leuchtturm. In the back of the Leuchtturm, there are a number of perforated pages. So I just grabbed one out of there and I tipped it in. I lined it up as best I could with the other page and just put washi tape on either side. And that's all I did for that. And that was the idea, to keep it this way. Now, if I try to do this in the new journal, what I would do is take, imagination here, take a page, draw a calendar on it, and laminate it. This is a weekly sheet that I did for my Franklin Covey, and I had it laminated. And this way I can use these little, these are not dry erase, these are wet erase markers, and just mark in everything for my week, and then erase it at the end of the week. So what I would do is I would take this, go to the very front of my journal, and do the same thing. I would tip it in here. It would, of course, fit better, but I would tip it in here, tape on both sides, and that way, if I want to use it, just flip it out, flip to my week, and there you have it. That's the idea. That's how I would do that. So hopefully that answered that question. And I hope you like the setup so far for November. I think it's nice, very simple. I'm glad I came up with this editorial calendar spread. NaNoWriMo is something a little different just for this month, but hopefully this works out. And I really like this end of the month, new month, just to transition from one to the next. All right, thanks very much all, and I will give you updates and let you know how that goes. Talk to you later. Bye.